China has just unveiled a solar power plant unlike anything the world has ever seen. Two colossal towers, each as tall as a 60-story skyscraper, stand in the endless sands of the Gobi Desert. Around them, 27,000 mirrors stretch across the barren landscape, glinting like a field of silver fire. This is not science fiction, this is real. And this plant does something remarkable. It generates electricity not only under the blazing sun but also long after sunset. This breakthrough could change the future of clean energy forever. Renewable energy has always faced one unrelenting enemy, the rhythm of the sun. At noon, solar panels pour electricity into the grid, producing more power than many regions can even consume. But as evening arrives, demand peaks while supply collapses. Cities light up, factories roar back to life, cooling systems hum into the night, and the grid runs dry. The result has been a painful dependence on fossil fuels for backup or expensive batteries that cannot yet scale cheaply enough to cover the gaps. The world has been wrestling with this dilemma for decades. Spain's early solar thermal towers tried to overcome it in the early 2000s. The United States built experimental giants like Ivanpah in the Mojave Desert. Morocco captured global attention with its Noor complex, one of the largest solar power projects on Earth. Each project was ambitious, each one advanced the science, but none could truly deliver round the clock solar at a price that rivaled coal, gas, or even falling photovoltaic costs. Ivanpah was the great American hope. Three 450-foot towers rose from California's desert, surrounded by fields of mirrors reflecting the sun's power. It was meant to generate nearly 400 megawatts of electricity, enough for hundreds of thousands of homes. The world watched closely, but trouble arrived quickly. Costs soared, performance lagged, and the plant required natural gas to keep its boilers running during cold mornings. The dream of pure, sun-fueled energy faltered. Crescent Dunes in Nevada was another attempt. It pioneered molten salt technology, storing heat so the plant could operate after dark. For a time, it seemed like the answer, but molten salt is a harsh master. Receiver tubes cracked under the extreme heat, leaks spread, and reliability plummeted. Investors pulled out, and eventually the plant was shut down. $1 billion reminder of how unforgiving concentrated solar can be. Morocco's Noor 3 was a brighter story, a towering project in the Sahara that did deliver energy to the grid with molten salt storage. It proved solar thermal could work at scale, but even Noor faced challenges. Cost remained high, and competition from cheap PV panels and rapidly improving lithium batteries cast doubt on whether tower technology could hold its ground in the global market. One by one, the early pioneers either collapsed under their own weight or struggled to justify their price tags. Solar thermal power became seen as a beautiful idea, but one that might never overcome its flaws. Now, in 2025, China has changed the equation. In Guangzhou County, in the heart of the Gobi Desert, the China 3 Gorges Corporation has built the world's first dual-tower solar thermal power plant. Each tower stands 200 meters tall, commanding the desert skyline. Around them, 27,000 heliostats giant mirrors that track the sun move in perfect coordination. Throughout the day, they concentrate sunlight onto receivers at the tops of the towers, heating molten salt to 570 degrees Celsius. That's over 1000 degrees Fahrenheit. The molten salt flows into insulated storage tanks. It waits there, holding the sun's heat like a massive thermal battery. When darkness falls or clouds roll in, the salt releases its heat into steam generators. The turbines spin. Electricity continues to flow. Power does not stop when the sun goes down. But the true innovation lies in the plant's dual tower design. Traditional solar thermal plants rely on a single tower. The farther a mirror is from that tower, the less efficient it becomes. Light scatters, focus weakens, and much of the potential energy is lost. Scaling up often meant adding more and more mirrors at higher costs with diminishing returns. China's design splits the system into two towers, one facing the east, one facing the west. In the morning, the eastern tower collects the sun. As the day moves on, the western tower takes over. The fields of mirrors overlap, meaning fewer mirrors are needed overall. This clever geometry increases efficiency by around 25% while cutting construction costs. China has built the largest fleet of solar and wind farms in the world. The western deserts of Gansu, Xinjiang, and Qinghai are filled with panels and turbines stretching to the horizon. But this rapid expansion created a paradox: massive surpluses of electricity at noon, followed by shortages in the evening. The dual tower station is not an isolated project, it sits at the center of a vast clean energy hub in the Gobi Desert. Solar farms, wind fields, and thermal towers work together, supplying electricity to nearly 500,000 households. Solar thermal acts as the backbone, providing steady, dispatchable energy that stabilizes the grid when the sun disappears. Compared to Morocco's Noor 3, China's plant does more than store energy. It optimizes collection across the day with its dual east-west layout. Compared to Ivanpah, it avoids the inefficiency of running three separate turbines. Compared to lithium batteries, it provides long-duration storage without depending on rare metals or supply chains that are vulnerable to shortages. The story of Crescent Dunes lingers in the background, a plant that pioneered molten salt technology yet collapsed when its components cracked under relentless heat. A project once called the future of energy, now remembered as a warning. Spain's towers remain as relics of ambition, beautifully engineered but too costly to survive in a world where photovoltaic panels plunged in price year after year. Ivanpah, standing in California, continues to generate electricity but remains a shadow of its promises. Its reliance on natural gas to operate and its underwhelming performance made it a symbol of the difficulties of concentrated solar. China's engineers studied these stories carefully. They implemented advanced heat tracing systems to prevent molten salt from freezing during cold desert nights. They deployed cleaning robots and optimized tracking algorithms to protect mirrors from the constant dust storms of the Gobi. They learned from failure and adapted to succeed. This dual tower concept could evolve into something even greater. Future plants may use three or more towers feeding a single generator, forming solar cities where towers pass sunlight from east to west like runners in a relay race. Molten salt technology is not just for electricity, its high temperature storage can provide heat for desalination, hydrogen production, and heavy industry. Expanding its application could transform water security, chemical manufacturing, and even aviation fuels. As nations race toward net zero, solar thermal plants like this one will not replace PV or wind, but they will complement them, filling the evening gaps, strengthening the grid, and proving that the sun's power does not end when daylight fades. If you believe the world needs bold breakthroughs like this, join me in spreading the word. Hit that like button to push this story further. Subscribe to stay ahead of the technologies shaping tomorrow, and drop your thoughts in the comments.